Hello everyone. Today, welcome again to our driving lessons Cork.ie. This is Kevin White here, and today we look at the big debate on whether one should drive an automatic car or a manual car. Whether you drive automatic or manual cars, they both will get you from A to B without any problems. Obviously, the automatic cars are a little bit easier to drive. Now, they still have a clutch and a gearbox to manage in the automatic car, but it's all done automatically for you. Whereas in the manual car, you have to operate them yourself. So, one could argue that it's less distracting to drive an automatic car from that point of view, that you don't have to operate the gears or a clutch. When you go to pass your driving test, if you pass in a manual transmission car, after your driving test, you're allowed in this jurisdiction anyway of Ireland. Once you pass in a manual car, you're allowed to drive either a manual car or an automatic car after you pass your manual transmission driving test. Whereas if you pass your driving test in an automatic transmission car at the moment, currently, at the time of this video being made, you're stuck to driving an automatic car afterwards, which may pose difficulties afterwards depending on where you may be going to hire a car to drive. If you're in some countries, the person you might want to hire the car off of, they may not have too many automatic cars to hire. So therefore you could be left with a difficulty. Whereas if you pass your test in a manual transmission car, well, at least you have the option of driving either then afterwards should you hire a car. The newer electric cars seemingly are all going to be automatic cars. So from that point of view, I suppose passing the test nowadays in an automatic car would seem to be the popular and clever thing to do. Again, you could be caught afterwards though if you have to drive a manual transmission car. You wouldn't be allowed to do it, you see. Now, historically, I suppose in this country, a lot of people would have been a little bit suspicious of automatic cars because possibly when they came out first, they weren't as reliable as they are nowadays, possibly. So that's maybe why in this country that people have been sticking to the manual transmission cars for a long time now. But certainly now at this stage, the automatic cars are much more reliable. I would say if I didn't have a driving school myself, I probably would go for an automatic car, to be honest with you. But currently with the driving school that I have, one has to have the manual car. It's just not feasible at the moment to have a manual and automatic car on the go at the moment. But certainly I'm looking at possibly going to automatic in the medium to longer term at the moment. Now, as again, automatic cars, as regards people who have any sort of a mobility difficulty, automatic cars can be easier to drive for them as well. Certainly if there's adaptations needed, it seems to be the case that automatic cars can take some more adaptations than the manual car. It's just that it is easier for people to drive if they have mobility difficulties. It's easier for them to drive the automatic car and get an adaptation fitted if required. Another thing people look at then when they go to buy an automatic car or a manual car would be kind of the fuel efficiency. Now, again, I suppose it depends on the fuel you're running in the car too. There'll be a couple of variables there, but certainly nowadays, automatic cars might take a little bit more fuel, that's only a might now, depending on the make and model you have. And the newer technologies, of course, as well, are cutting back on on the amount of fuel people use in a car. So that's another consideration somebody will have to consider. Again, the cost of an automatic car. Some people say they are a little bit dearer. Well, certainly, the newer automatic cars as against a brand new manual transmission car, well, the automatic would be considerable enough bit dearer, all right, But I suppose if you're buying second-hand car, you just buy whatever you can afford. There can be good value in second-hand cars too, so one has to shop around to get the best deal one can for oneself. As regards maintenance, well, again, I suppose in the automatic car, the clutch has been done automatically for you, and the gears have been done automatically for you. So there mightn't be as much wear and tear in the clutch and the gearbox in an automatic car as there would be in a manual transmission car. I have seen people drive both, and I must say, in some cars, people do go to town a little bit on the clutch and the gears, Whereas in the automatic car, if it's all done automatically for you at the most optimum time, then that would probably be a better option. So I just have a list of those points here with me at the moment, and from what I can make out now on all the topics I raised, it looks as if the automatic car would have more pros than cons at the moment. But again, that's down to an individual, and individual choice, as well as to what one prefers and what one trusts. Now, folks, that's all for this evening on that. I hope you got some value out of this video, and if you do like the video, please do click the like button underneath this video, and we would love to have you part of the community. So please subscribe to our channel, and we will be putting out more videos on driving, no doubt, as time goes on. So thanks for listening, folks. Until next time, bye for now.